Morning.
All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I just wanted to speak to all, the agents in Florida. They don't know who I am. My name is Erica Perez. I'm a broker with Lifestyle International Realty, and we have a group, the Perez Group, which are here, and other agents from Lifestyle. I've been in business for like 17 years. So I just kind of set up this training because I feel like we're always looking for leads in business, but there's so many tools that we have in our own hands that can get us there. So that is what we're going to kind of be talking about. So today we're just going to be talking about organic lead generation, which basically is organic, right? Natural, something that you already own, that you already have. And if I'm going fast, I had a lot of coffee, so just say, Erica, slow it down. All right, so you guys know that as real estate agents, right? You're the CEO of your business. You're not really a real estate agent, you are a business owner. Oh, and just a quick reminder before we go forward, can everybody make sure their phones are off? All right, no worries. Okay, so we're all CEOs of our business, meaning we're not just realtors. You guys, everyone here owns their own business. We're self-employed. Every morning when you wake up, you're unemployed until you put a contract together, right? So we're business owners. So we have to have a business plan in motion, and we have to run ourselves like a business, because that's who we are. We are the CEO of Nelson Martinez, Sandra, like we're the CEO of us. So it's super important to know that, you're the CEO of your business and your brand. Like, who are you? What do you stand for? What do you do? What are you known for? I feel like each individual has to always remember that you are who you are, plus what else do you have? What are your traits? What do you bring to the table for your buyers and your sellers and your investors and your developers? Those are things that you should always be focusing on branding when you're speaking to people. So I kind of wanted to go over, there's different ways of being a professional real estate agent and having, what kind of relationships you have. Are you transactional or relational? Does anybody have an idea what the difference can be between transactional and relational?
Well, transactions will pretty much kind of take care of like paperwork and stuff like that. Relational is kind of build like a relationship with that person. So there's some that you have in common that is more than just paper, right? It becomes more of like a friendship.
Yes. So with transactional, once the transaction is complete, your job is done. So that's a transactional agent, right? You meet someone, he buys a property, see you, thank you, done. That's transactional agent, right? And relational is long-lasting relationship, meaning happy birthday, how are you? Happy 1-year anniversary. How's the family? How you been? That's relational. So you're actually building a relationship. And I think that the key to being a real estate agent 10 years from now, 15 years, I've been in business for 17 years because I learned to become relational. I like to talk anyway. So, so I think that mindset is everything. And if you find yourself being a transactional real estate agent, you need to change that and become more relational. How are your children, right? How's your family? We're going to get to them when you make those calls. But when you actually are working with someone, they're trusting you to help them with something major. It's real estate. They're buying the biggest investment, whether it's a developer, a builder, first-time home buyer, a seller. You're actually making a mark in their life. They're going to remember you good or bad, right? So it's important to always consider being relational. So organic leads are leads that, you have generated somehow, not that we're basically kind of purchased and given to you, things that you have done, right? I find it, and that a lot of agents always say, I need leads. I need somebody to buy me leads. I need to get leads. Where can I get leads? And I've experimented through all these years. And what I find is that when I work with a lot of companies like Realtor.com, Zillow, blah, 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 there's a lot of different places that you can get leads. It's great to get the phone ringing and say, oh, somebody's looking for a house. But what are the chances of you really converting that lead And how long does it take? Does anybody know, statistically speaking, how long it takes to really convert a lead that you get through maybe realtor.com or Zillow or anything like that? Does anybody have an idea? Who did the business plan with the Perez group? Remember we talked about how long it really takes? It actually, yeah. It can take between 6 months to 12 months to actually really convert that lead because they're tired of looking. And now they've had 100 agents calling them from Zillow and realtor.com. Now you have a real buyer because they're like, I'm done looking for houses.
But conversion was low too, right? What was it, like 30%?
Right, super low. Conversion is super low. So organic leads have a much better rate at converting these leads and actually getting business, right? Because that's what we're in. We're in the business of servicing clients. In order to service them, we got to find someone that trusts us and wants to work with us. Because the truth is, there's a lot of realtors right now, right? The pandemic hit a lot of people. To me, started doing the line, class online, and all of a sudden, real estate has been the easiest job that I've seen in the past couple of years. Like, you show a house and you're putting 50,000 offer done, but the market's going to change. So only the strong are going to survive. This is where you guys come in. You guys got to be the strong to survive and start now. Know what's coming, know the trend that's coming, and know that you need to be relational. You can't be transactional. I would say 60 to 70% of the agents that were in the business were transactional, right? Organization, organization, organization is key to this, right? You can have all the leads in the world, but where do we put our leads when we get them? Where do you put these people? Like, where do you have them? Where are your clients at? Like, if you wanted to look for a client, where do you go?
My cell phone.
That's a lot of people to remember. How many contacts do you have?
Over 1,000.
That's a lot of people to remember who you're going to call. What do I always say?
CRM.
CRM. Line Desk is $25. I'm not promoting them, but it's inexpensive organization. A CRM, without that, none of this is going to work anyway. So before you start really working on this, it is key to have a CRM, which stands for, does anybody know?
Client relations manager.
Boom. Client's relation manager, right? Relational, right? So before you even hit this and you start working on this, I say, super important to find a CRM that works for you, set it up and go, right? You know how they say on your market set, go, just do it. Just download it, figure it out as you go and start inputting your clients. Your phone is an important database, which takes us to number one. Your sphere of influence is your cell phone, your database, your friends, your family, wherever you guys go to eat. I mean, we're realtors, guys. We're eating out all the time. Do you know who owns these businesses? Are you giving your card to the waiter? Never, ever underestimate who you're speaking to. Don't think, oh, because he's a waiter, he's getting paid cash, he's not going to qualify to buy, so I'm not going to give him my business card. Wrong. So never underestimate who you're meeting. Your business cards, though people throw them away, you're putting your face in front of theirs. They're going to remember their face because we are visual by nature. Everybody, if they see it enough and the next time they see you, their mind, their subconscious is going to bring it back. So your sphere of influence is going to be your database, your family, friends, past clients, business owners, anybody that you're encountering. Now, the key to that is, example, hi, Betsy, how are you? Haven't seen you in a long time. Listen, could you get, you know what? I have a new system that I'm working. I don't have your email. What's your email address? Guys, emails, right? Why emails? You want to stay in front of their face all the time. The people that know you, that now you're relational with, you want them to know who you are, right? So stay in their face, drip campaigns, email them. I have people that are like, stop emailing me. They try to unsubscribe me and I'll put it back. But it's crazy. Working on my sphere of influence, I have listed properties after calling the same person for 7 years. That's your book of business. You're a business owner. You need to have a book of business. Your family. Saddest truth is, how many people say their family is the first people to help them get their business growing? Right? Hey, I posted something. Can you share it, please? Thank you. But they'll share a post that says some BS about something that is made up by a human being that everybody starts to believe to be true, right? But you know what? Put them in your database. Put them in your database. Past clients, crazy important, guys. Past clients are always referrals, meaning, hey, how are you? Even if the client didn't buy a house because something happened, I keep them in my database. My sellers and my buyers, when it's a year from when they purchased or sold their home, even if they sold and went to rent, I'm calling them. Hey, can you believe it's been a year that you bought your house? And honestly, guys, I'm a talker. Time management is important. So at home, I have that little time thing, and I flick it. So I can be mindful of how long I'm on the phone with them, because your goal is not to make one call, but it's to make a certain amount of calls a day to see results, right? So how are you? How's the family? Listen, I'm still in real estate. Is this still your email address? Give them something, like interact with them. They're going to be impressed and say, wow, you remembered. I can't believe it's already been 5 years. I can't believe it's been 6. Listen, and if you're ever curious to what your home is worth, I can send you a CMA. Listen, I'll send you one now. I'm over here on the computer playing around. I'll send you a quick, market analysis of what your house is worth. You know what, Erica, send me that. And I've had people say, you know what, if I get that price for the house, I'll sell it. Boom, listing. So that's past client. Again, super important. If you can remember the birth dates, if you can remember, when they bought the house, and take notes when you're talking to them. Because it happened to me when I first started my CRM. I got a bunch of people that I don't even know who they are and what we spoke about. So it's hard to call them when I don't know. That's when I was transactional, because I was guilty of being a transactional agent, right? So now I take notes. You told me to kick rocks. I'll write it and say, hey, remember me? You told me off. Just want to see how I'm serious. Like, take notes, so that it's a lot to remember, guys. And we have a lot on our minds. If you want your real estate business to be not so stressful, try to put everything where it belongs, in that cabinet, your filing cabinet of, your past clients. So one of your number one referrals are going to be your past clients. And I got to tell you guys, truth be told, 80% of my continued business through all these years has been my past clients. So, Michael sees me on a day-to-day, and when I need business, I get crazy. I start calling everybody that I already did business with, and I get new business. I come on like, I got a new listing. They're like, what? People that know me, but that's being a relational agent, okay? Business owners, they always like, if you recommend for me, I'll recommend for you. Hey, can I put my business cards in your business? Hey, do you mind? When we were in our transition, we would go to diners to have breakfast, and they would let me sit there all morning. When I go, they remember that that's the girl that sells real estate that would sit here for hours with her team. Hey, I might be selling my house. It happened to me at Trout's Diner the other day. I may be considering selling my house in Monroe. Thank you, because they've seen us. Now, these are the same business owners that we should be going after and saying, hey, can I market in your business? Again, people throw away business cards, guys, but it's about branding yourself, having your face in front of them. They may not know who you are, but I'll walk into a place and say, hey, you sell real estate, right? Yeah, right? Because people, they see you. So the second thing is, oh no, we have lack of inventory. We don't have inventory. There is inventory. All right. For sale by owners are people that want to sell their homes, that are trying to sell their homes. So guess what? They have the interest of selling like now. Remember, super important, ready, willing, and able, because if it's just a seller that his house is paid off and he has another house and he doesn't really care to sell, he's just putting it out there, right? So it's important always to know if you have a ready, willing, and able seller. But everybody's always like, I need to get the listing. I need to get the listing. Listen, you got a buyer? Walk that way. Hey, I got a buyer, a true buyer. And I always say, guys, if you don't have a buyer, tell the truth to the for sale by owner. Listen, I don't have a buyer, but I love to drive around and see what inventory we have in case someone comes up that's looking for your home. Would you mind if I was to go and preview your beautiful home? Even if, whatever. Sure. Now you're in front of that seller, and you may have a buyer, or you may have a colleague that says, and I have a buyer that's looking in this price range. And listen, maybe you can't get the listing, but you got a contract, right? You have to think outside the box. For sell by not owners are great for listings, but they're also good just if you bring the buyer. Now, what do you do with a for sale by owner? If he says, I'm only giving 2% to the buyer. Oh yeah? So who's gonna do your appraisal when your house doesn't appraise? What are you gonna do? Because that's what you hire a selling agent for, right? As a buyer's agent, you should do it too, but who's gonna apply for your CO? You know the town? You know your inspectors? Who's gonna negotiate for you? Who's gonna work for you? So for 2% commission, you rather try to do it on your own and not know if this transaction is gonna really close, then you can negotiate and maybe you can represent the buyer and the seller, right? Think outside the box. When there's no inventory created, find it, look for it, right? Because this is the business that we're in right now. We gotta find the business. You gotta find buyers. There's a lot of buyers, but you gotta find the business, right? So what you're selling, what your duty right now is to look, what products do you have to sell to your buyers? Because you can sit with a buyer and look for 100 houses for that buyer, or you can go on the MLS every morning and see what's new on the market and look at your list and say, who can I sell this house to? And that's what I'm doing right now. It's more kind of that way for me. I have a bunch of buyers that I stay warm and I do auto email. Do you guys know what auto email is? Do you guys do the auto email with your clients?
On the MLS.
On the MLS, yeah.
It's super important. They think you're working for them every day. So what are their chances of one with another realtor? I mean, I've had it where I send them the house, the auto email, they went and put the offer with another realtor, fine, I took a chance. But they're like, wow, Erica's sending me houses every day. It's my assistant. It's an auto email setup. We have it. We pay for those services. Use them, use them, use them, right? So for sale by owners, you guys know, some people like cold calling, some don't. I'm gonna be honest. I feel, sometimes I want to get nasty back when they're nasty to me. I'm like, whatever, click, right? But we shouldn't, but I'm being honest. I'm being real right now. There's days that I'm like, truth. I was doing a cold calling with the team, and this guy, I called this lady and she said to me, I'm gonna give you my husband's number. I called the husband and he's like, my wife gave you my number? Be honest, how did you find me? I said, no, I looked up the tax records and I found your wife as the owner, so I called her. He thought that the wife was setting him up because she wanted to sell the house and he was fighting with his wife, right?
Yeah.
He even called me back. He goes, tell me the truth. Did my wife reach out to you for me to sell the house? And I'm like, no, I promise you. I even took a screenshot of the website that I used to look up the contacts. And he said, well, I'm not interested in leave me alone. Click. Well, it's hard for me to take no for an answer, right? And I put him on my CRM. Sent him an email. This is what your house is worth. He crickets. Send him a text. I said, come on, at least tell me yes. He put LOL, yes, got it. All of a sudden, one day, and Michael's my witness, he says, I'll be in town on Monday. If you want to see my house, I'll let you know when you can come. I'm interviewing a few agents. Well, he called me and said, and he's from New York. He said, I'll be there in an hour. What? I was like, we're going to an event. I said, Michael, you coming with me? And I walked in that house knowing that he was interviewing agents, but I walked in like it was mine. I said, how are you? Okay, so these are the things we're going to do. I'm going to find you a buyer. And I took over. When I was done with him, what did he say to me, Mike? I'll give you 1 month exclusive to sell it. You and your team, because I always promote the team, right? I always say, if I don't have a buyer, I got a team of 16 agents that can sell it. And now I promise, guys, I'll extend it and say I have a company of tons of agents, because it happens, I get off market deals sometimes. And guess what? I had a client for it. I went back, she loved it, put it under contract. I represent buyer and seller. The guy told me to kick rocks when we first spoke. But I had the notes to know. So it's important, like, I made a relationship with someone that was fighting with me, and I had to laugh it off, and I didn't give up. And I got the listing in Union, right? So expired leads. All right, so that market, now you're like, okay, expired leads, where are we getting expired leads from? Believe it or not, if you start to look, you're gonna find expired leads. These sellers are nervous. They're like, the interest rates went up, the market's going down. Now they might price it right. A lot of these leads, if there's leads that are expired right now, is because they priced it incorrectly or the agent didn't prepare the house to sell. I went to a house in Woodbridge in Fords. I'm waiting for it to expire. I walked in, it was so much clutter. It's a gorgeous house, but you can't see it because everything. When it expires, I'm gonna go over there and tell her I will personally help her box everything, put it in her garage, and I will sell the house for more than what she listed it. So a lot of people are not doing expired leads now, right? Because everybody's like, oh, there's not, do it. They're gonna come. Start now. Play with the expired leads. And I want you guys to know there's a lot of different methods that I'm gonna give you, but what my goal is to get you is to master 3. And I'm gonna do it with you guys because I've only mastered 1, right? Transparency. I mastered 1, so this is gonna be fun for me because now we're gonna be accountable for each other. I wanna master 2 more organic lead gens, right? Not going after the same one that I've been doing for years. So we're all, you know, gonna work with it together. I want you to try everything a little bit and say, hey, this is the way I wanna go, but not everything, because you have to master something. If you try everything, you'll be scattered, right? I've been guilty of that too. Farming a specific location. You guys know what farming a specific location is? Yeah. So that means that in that town, George's is good for that. In Rahway, they know who he is because he's in this event, he's in that event. Find a town that you want to work in and farm it. Know your politicians, learn about the town, Google it. Learn about the people, learn about the politicians, go to those restaurants, go to those businesses, send mailers out. That's what you want to do, right? Figure out, where am I good at? Even though I sell real estate from here to there, doesn't matter. But we should get to the point where we own certain areas, right? Super important. People should know. I mean, in Elizabeth, everybody knows Mills. So a lot of people know me in Elizabeth because for so long, I just farmed the same area. And I got kind of a little bit used to it for a while and I wouldn't come out of it. But, you know, you do have to venture out, but still own a certain area that you want to work in and focus on that. What I find is I was doing mailers everywhere. This town, that town, this town, this town. Nobody called me because not one town seen enough of me, right? So, you know, farming, you gotta hit it multiple times so they know who you are, okay? I wish sometimes that it would shut down when I'm home and I'm watching my whole family sitting there like, and you're talking to them, click, click, click. Yesterday I told my son, I said, oh my God, I said, you look like you're in a trance. Click. He's like, oh, stop, I'm literally driving. But the truth is, people wake up and the saddest truth is the first thing that we do is we pick up our phone to see what's going on in everybody's life, right? Like, hey, you know, let me see. I mean, and I don't know about you realtors, but when you see other realtors closing deals and you're not, it's like, ah, right? Shut it off. Stop following them because it's probably not true anyway. I'm honest. I'm transparent, guys. There's agents that I look and I'm like, how is she's selling all this real estate? You know what? Let me unfollow it because it's making me insane. I can't even focus on my own business. Let's be honest with each other, right? It's true. We hate on each other. They're like, oh, I'm not a hater. I'm happy for them. Bullshit. You're like, what? Let's be real here, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm not gonna step my game up, you know? So social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channels are a lot of fun, but you gotta have the time for it or hire someone. I always say, it's not your specialty, hire someone to do it for you. Invest in your business. If you invest in your business, you will reap the benefit. You're a business owner, right? When you own a business, you pay rent, you pay this, you pay that. Being a real estate agent, you have the luxury that Chris handles that. So we're good, but be of value. And what I mean by that is nobody wants to see closed, closed, closed. No, talk to your consumers, talk to your clients. I don't care if it's about baking a cookie, but you're a realtor. Like, what are you good at? What do you like to know? What do you like to discuss? Do that. Because it gets kind of boring when you see like a page and all you see is close on the contract listed, close on the contract list. That's boring. I don't want to look at your page. I'm next. But now I do have, you know, real estate agents that own teams, and I like to listen to what they're talking about, see what they're doing, right? I like to, there's one that everybody's always posting that explains the real estate market. I like to go there to see what's going on. What are the interest rates? So be of value. Bring something to the table. You know, if you're a part-time agent and you work in a certain industry, and I'm going to use Irene as an example, then promote dental health. But you're a realtor. Bring value to your database where they want to see what you're doing, right? Truth be told, it's the free way. It's the easiest way. Now, Joyce is one of my agents on the team that I gotta say that Joyce gets most of her business. Am I correct me if I'm right or wrong?
Accurate.
She's most of her business. This girl gets it from social media. She will post $1 million home, and all of a sudden she comes in. She's like, "I put a contract on new construction downtown Elizabeth." She's creative. She's going to houses. Go to any house that is vacant. Open it. Do a video. Law of attraction. She posts new constructions. I gotta say, most of the business that Joyce does is new constructions, but her presence is social media. So if you're good at that, own it. Be that, right? I don't really get a lot of business on social media. I've got a few things, but not a lot. But I like to play with it. You know, that's what consistency, right? If you're gonna do something, do it right and do it consistent. Even if I don't care if you misspell stuff, throw shit out there, right? Cursing, I know I'm on live, but whatever. You know, again, YouTube channels, whatever. Whoever likes to be in front of the camera, whoever likes to talk, just do it. Who's to say you're right or wrong by what you're doing? You don't have to be professional. You should be professional, but be you, be real. Don't be fake. Don't go and learn something and go scripted like, oh, today, who cares? Be you. People know that. Be organic, be yourself, be natural, right? On TikTok, I forgot to put that one. TikTok, right? True story. The videos that I'm dressed busted as hell. Ooh, the Nen is there. The videos that I post that I'm busted, hundreds of thousands of views and people asking me to see a house, and no lie. I got a little sweater, no makeup, a half a bun, and some sneakers, and I'm just walking through the house talking like that. And if you go to my TikTok, I'm not lying. Those are my most views. Now, when you get all beautiful, and you're like, and this how? She's fake. He's fake.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because it kind of makes you like more like relatable, more like
Trustworthy.
more like
Right. So going back to what I was saying in the beginning, approachable. So it's either transactional or relational, but you want to have you can talk to this person because you feel like they're real.
It normalizes front. It
Normalizes people when you see someone so glamorous or man, like so, you're like, oh my God, but if you see somebody that you can relate to and someone that's, you kind of think honesty, right? They're not putting on a show. They're just talking about this property because I'm not there to post that video for me. I'm there to post that video for that property that I'm trying to sell, right? So be natural, be organic, be professional, be you. If you're serious, be serious. If you're silly, be silly. Betsy's my silly girl. If y'all want to see a funny post, you go to Betsy's Instagram. She's always got a funny real estate meme. Everybody knows who you are by just being true to yourself. And oh my God, open houses. Buyer leads. Oh my God, an agent. Everybody comes in with an agent, right? Because we've trained them now. You make sure when you go, you tell them, I'm your agent. Okay. Now with this market, I'm always on them. Oh, but they said they got an agent. I don't care. Because guess what? If they don't have a house, they don't have a house. So you continue to say, hey, has your agent helped you find a house? Do you mind if I send you properties? Are the chances that they buy the house with the other agent can happen? Yeah. But there's also a chance that they could buy it with you. Right? So when you do open houses, you go dress properly, professional, make it welcoming. You're there to sell that property, but you're also there as an agent. If it's not your listing, to get the leads, right? What do you do when you get those leads? Oh, they all got agents. Garbage. No. What I tell you guys to do, Irene? And keep calling them. Auto email setup is your assistant. You paid for these products. There's so many products and tools that we have from the MLSs. Remind, a lot of people don't know what even Remind is. Remind, you put a location, in a sense, cards on, all you gotta do is put your picture, look at me, and it's automatically generates it for you, and it's inexpensive, right? So open houses, not only are you prospecting for leads, but for sellers, you know? Knock on the door next door, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm selling the house next door. You know, if you know, there's nobody really there right now, you wanna come by and check it out. That just gives you an opportunity to talk to them when they come over. Hey, I'm gonna have tons of buyers left over from this house for the right price. Would you sell your home? What's the right price? What's your phone number and email address? Oh, I'll get back to you. Now, guess what? You got a lead.
Yeah, and to your point, with getting all, you know, all whatever clients, any person that you can get in front of you, like into a CRM or touching those people, is really, this number one, it's a numbers game. And number two, I remember when I first started in real estate, I worked for a husband and wife team, and they would, I don't want to say steal, but they would often,
Say it still.
they would
Sorry,
often steal
I got Tourette's.
the client on the other side, because what they did was, no matter what side of the transaction they were on, when they closed, they would have the other side's information, and they would add it into their campaigns. So, and then they would call them, they used to call them like orphan buyers and orphan sellers. So basically, if they had the buyer, and let's say Erica had the seller, that seller would be in their campaign. And if Erica wasn't following up, they'd eventually probably reach out to them, and then we would take that client. So what she's talking about is huge.
So back to what we're talking about, see, I get sick of saying it for CRMs, guys, because honestly, most agents don't have a database. Oh yeah, it's on my phone. No, it's not. Because you don't pick up your phone, you don't know who's who. So most of the times you have an advantage. You organize yourself and you're consistent and you're contacting them and you're doing drip campaigns, you're probably gonna convert this lead. And even if you don't, I've had buyers buy with another agent and then refer me a client. They didn't use me, but they're my book of business. They'll refer me business now. I've gone to closing tables, true story. And I know I got off track, but I'll be back. So I represented the seller. The buyer's agent was a shit show. It's gone. So you know what? I found the buyer's phone number and I said, listen, I'll help you. I needed to close this deal because my responsibility was to the seller. And now it was in a market that you didn't have so many buyers fighting for a property. So at the closing table, you think that agent showed up, not even to pick up their check. But I did, and I sat in the middle of them. And I looked at this one's paperwork and I looked at this one and I said, hey, Mr. Attorney, do you have their CO? Because I have, you know, the copy, but you have the original, which the buyer's agent had it. I was a hero. That client still refers me business. So always remember, relationships are key. Even if you're not representing them, show them who you are and what you're worth, okay? And the same with open houses. If that person says to you, oh, maybe for the right price, you better get that person, get that email address, right? And their phone number. Now you just added them to your database. It's not just adding them though, it's having a follow-up system, right? Soon as you put them in, you call them in 30 days, call them in a month. And if they don't pick up, don't check it off and be done with them. Wait another 30 months, they don't check it off. Eventually you're gonna be like, listen, I had it with this one done, but they're in your database, okay? So open houses are super important to host as many as you can. Plus, if you're a new realtor, you're getting your face known, right? I love meeting other realtors at open houses too, because it helps me put myself in front of other listing agents. So, and my team will tell you that when an offer goes out, I always say to them, who's the agent, right? Because I call them like, hey, what's up, what's good? You know, listen, my agent put an offer, what's up? You know, are we looking strong? What do we gotta do, right? Maybe we can match. And they'll say, you know what? I know you're gonna close the deal, Erica, because if you're a closer, you're a closer. That's what we do, we're closing deals. You'll get the one to work with you. Even if you give them 2,000 less, I'll take a good agent and good, you know, the numbers that make sense. And I'll tell the seller, listen, this agent gave us 2,000 more, but I don't know if she's gonna close it. She's nasty. I don't want to work with her. But because they trust me, they'll say, let's go with the one that you know that's gonna help you work the deal out. So relationships. If you're a good agent and I know that you're gonna help me, we're gonna work together and get it done. Or if you're gonna give me attitude and we're gonna be fighting, I'm not working with you. I don't want to. I'd rather not. It's gonna be unhealthy for all of us, and we probably won't close the deal because we'll be so focused on our turmoil that we won't focus on the transaction. Relationships, okay? Something that Chris put me up on that I've added that I really liked. Thank you, Chris. And I actually never heard of that, but I thought it was cool, right? Because I'm a numbers person. So I love this. When you preview these homes, you do 5-5-10 rule. 5 neighbors to the left, 5 neighbors to the right, and 10 across the street. It's kind of cool because when you have a goal in mind, instead of saying I'm walking up and down this block, I'm gonna go down the street. If you know you're gonna do 5 here, 5 there, and 10, you just did 20 houses, boom. And if you walk in front of that house and that grass is like up to here, you better take that phone number and say, let me check those tax records. Are you paying for that home? Because that's a potential flip. Or potential short sale, a potential, whatever. Somebody may, they're elderly and they can't afford to maintain the house. That is a potential something. Pay attention to your environment, right? So when you're doing that 5-5-10, relationship, follow it up. So thanks, Chris. That was really, really good. I'm gonna try that.
You should use it for sure.
So wait, you go to the neighbor's house when you have a listing? or
So let's say you see a listing, even if it's not yours.
you
Okay,
just
what
go
the?
knock on the door?
If,
Like, or if you're doing an open house or something for someone else?
if you do an open house for someone else, or if listen, I'm daring. I'll run down your porch like, okay, sorry, if I have to. No, I've had people tell me, I used to door knock alone. It was crazy, the shit that I used to see and experience. Because back in the day, market was nothing. So you had to really door knock. And I would go by myself. I had a viejito bring me into his house. And I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get this thing. It takes me upstairs to the 2nd floor. It's got a Cape Cod and he opens this door to like a little closet. I see a mattress in there. I said, oh, he's gonna kill me. I gotta get out of here. And I'm like, ah. But so if you see that the house, to your question, it could be listed with any company. Who cares? No one says you can't do it, right? You're door knocking. 5 to the right, 5 to the left. I would 10 across the street, say, hey, the house just listed. I'm not with the company, but I have buyers that were interested. So remember, guys, the key to these people. For the right price, would you sell? Yeah. What's the right price? Oh, let me get your contact information. Right? So you always got to think outside the box how to connect. So let me go back to this. So I put 7 different ways. There's other things that I wanted to go over, but I didn't want to put it here because I think that it's more in depth where you guys gonna learn a little more because there's like probates. There's short sales, share sales. There's so many other avenues in real estate. The beauty of it, guys, is that we could do anything. We could do rentals, we could do share sales, we could do short sales, we could do sellers, we could do buyers, we could sell land, we can sell anything that's within our scope. So the other things that I didn't put here was because I wanted to actually have another class just on probates. I also got my designation to be a certified probate specialist because I like working with people that are in situations. I'm a heartfelt person, right? And back in the day, that's what I used to do with my investor. I would look at the obituary and be like, oh, I'm sorry, your mom just passed away. Do you have anything that you need to sell? Listen, I can help you. I know where you gotta go. I know how to help you fill out for a probate. Was there a will? Was it testate? Blah, blah, blah. Plus you're actually really giving back. You're doing a service for someone that's really in a bad place, right? I like helping people. It's who I am, right? So I kind of enjoyed doing probates. It died out a little bit. Plus I couldn't get the phone numbers from the county anymore and it was just too much work. And I was like, I'll buy the list. And it is a lot of work, right? Know your market. So I'm definitely going to do something on probates, but I want to take my time to just teach you from beginning to the end. What's an executor? What are the process? What are the things to expect? Who holds the money? How do you get paid? How does the seller? There's a lot more to it than just throwing it in here. So out of these 7, That's me, girl. Out of these 7, I want you guys to master 3, right? And the reason why say 3, the reason why I say 3.
There you go.
Oh, it reaches.
Now
Now it works.
I know.
So the reason why I say 3 is because if you try to master 7, you could be the jack of all trades, the master of none, right? So I'm guilty that in all these years, I know how to do all of them, right? Because like I said, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, shit, I'm unemployed. I gotta see where I'm gonna find business from today. You know what? Let me see if I can get a for sale by owner. But there's been no consistency. With sphere of influence, hands down, I got it on lockdown, right? I could do that eyes shut because I know people. But coming out of my comfort zone is for sale by owners, right? They wanna sell. So, you know, I'm hoping that we can circulate back, maybe like in 90 days. And the reason why I say 90 days, because in 30 days, it takes 90 days to see results in your business. When you start real estate, you don't really start closing. Well, I got lucky, but you don't really start closing. It takes 90 days of anything that you do to see results. So I would love for everybody that's here, anybody that's watching it, if we can circulate back in 90 days and kind of do more like an open table discussion and just say, hey, this is what my business wants. I want you to keep track of numbers. If you have a little pen and pad in your purse or your phone, and every day calculate how many people are you calling. I'm gonna do it too, right? And so I have to be accountable and let's be truthful, not coming here like I made 150 calls and you make 5. Like, let's be honest and say, these are the 3 things that I want to master and try, right? You never fail. You succeed at everything you do as long as you're consistent with it. So I say 3 things that we can master in 90 days, but every day, make it your business to take, I don't care if it's an hour and a half or an hour, to get on the phone and make those calls real fast and see what happens to your business in 90 days. And I'm gonna be a part of it. I don't know if George wants to try it, and Mo and Chris, we can all kind of like, we're here, you know, let's do it together. And so we have something to talk about and say, hey, you know what? I'm much hurting for some owners, right? I don't do well with rejection, I guess, right? And a lot of times that's what they do. They're like, no, everybody's calling me quick, right?
None of us do.
Right? But you know that for sale by owners are the first one to tell you off. I'm sick of you realtors because we're all doing the same thing, but I'm gonna give it a shot for 90 days and see what results I get. Something that I didn't put here that I might want to try that I didn't even think about putting, Remind. We all have it. You guys don't have NARRPR, you're registered to it, right? You're not yet. That's on our list to do. You have it, you have it, you have it, you have it, you have it. You have your NARRPR. You guys know the NARRPR, you have it too. It does your CMAs for you, right? Your market analysis.
Beautiful.
Right, and I'll show you.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Tells you who bought what, who lives here, where's the hospital, where's the, right. Now this same website, this same place, you can actually go in and look for absentee owners. That's that house I got in Union. Remind.
Really?
You can put what you want to search for. We'll do that. We'll do that another class.
Yeah, I think that.
Put it, we'll do another, yeah, Michael will teach that one. Michael mastered that one. And Remind. So what are absentee owners, guys? Potential sellers because their tenants aren't paying rent, right? So Remind is something I didn't put here, but I just thought about it. Maybe we'll do something on that, Mike. That'll be good. You teach it, so I can learn it. You teach it. But on Remind, you can actually put, you want a house that it's an absentee owner and it has $300,000 in equity. Like you can pick what you want and you can send mailers through there. Boom. Do you know what your house is worth? And literally, guys, it's fast. You don't pay for mail, stampage. They'll even send you to your home a copy of the one that they sent them.
So it's just pay for it. No, it's not like an app or anything?
No, we already pay for it. Do you have Garden State MLS?
Yeah.
You got it, girl. I'll show you really quick when we're done. I'm telling you, I'll get you into the website and all you gotta do is play with it, navigate. And then we'll circulate back to do something for Remind.
We do digital and mail.
Excuse me, Erica, Remind, is it on the Garden State MLS? Because I have it on the Middlesex.
CJ has it too.
TJ has it too. And it has its own. You could do NARRPR and it has its own too. So you can get it 3 different, like a whole bunch of different ways. I just know those.
Okay.
Erica, on the FISBOs, real quick, one of the strategies that I was teaching the other day is when you do an open house in town, hit up all the FISBOs, not to prospect them, but to say, hey, I saw that you have your house for sale. I'm doing an open house at a house in your town. If you want to come and take a look and see what the competition looks like, just to get in front of them in a way that you're not like hounding them.
Yeah,
So that's
that gives you a way to call the FISBOs.
Yeah, and then tell them, look, I'm gonna have a bunch of people that already confirmed that they're attending. Is it okay if I show them your house if they like it, and then set up an appointment to walk through it? That way at the open house, you can shop that house for them as well. That's a non-solicitation way to get.
Yep, he's right. People are nosy. How many times people
The
come in?
neighbors are the first ones to come in.
Right.
I have,
It's
talk.
a volunteer. So my owners, I can actually say, can I have an open house for you? Can I host it?
I used to do that. Well, who I told to do that? Who I told to do you? Who did I tell to do an open house for the FISBOs? Was it you? Well, somebody that's not here on the team. I said, call them and tell them, oh, Rue, she didn't come. Rue. She bought a house in, where'd she bought a house, guys? Fort Lee. No, Freehold. She's like, I want to list this house. I want this house. I said, go over there and knock on the door, tell them you're gonna do an open house. She's like, it's not listed. I said, I don't care. You get the leads and potential listing and make the relationship with the guy.
So now where did you put that, of course, open house information so that everybody can get it?
Social media.
You can do Zillow. If the person listed it for sale by owner on Zillow, just have them list it, the open house date for you, and it goes on Zillow.
Yeah.
But you're the one hosting it. And then you create a flyer and advertise it. Facebook
Leads,
Marketplace.
leads, and more leads. Those are organic leads. And honestly, guys, you will convert that before you can, I mean, I don't know if you guys are like realtor.com, but I could call these people till I turn blue when they fight with me. And you know, sometimes if I want to fight, I'll call them so we can fight back, right? I'll be like, whatever. But what I'm saying is organic leads have really worked for me. That's how I've stayed in the business in 17 years, for 17 years. The market was bad, good, bad, and then it got good, but because I just kept on dealing with the people that knew me, my organic leads. And I've tried Zillow, realtor.com. It's nice if you have someone that wants to invest in you and get you those leads, but know that those leads are not for now. Those are leads most of the times. I mean, you may get 1 or 2, but most of the time that's future business or future referrals. Okay, great. That's your book of business. But organic leads, I promise you, if you chase that and focus on making those calls every day. So I've done a business plan with the team where they know how many calls they got to make a day to make their numbers. I'm a numbers person. I want to know numbers. I had somebody the first time we did a business plan, I'm not going to say no names or point. She was like, oh no, that's too high. Did we reach those goals?
Is that me?
You too. She was like, well, but you another story. I finally convinced her to want to do it. And once she did it, did you not rock those numbers?
Yeah.
Because you kind of have a mindset of what you got to do and who you got to call. And I always tell them, don't ask me for leads. Pick up your cell phone and start from A and to Z. And when you're done with that, come and see me. I'm still waiting for somebody to come see me because I mean somebody made it to Z. But I tell them, start with A and go to Z. I don't care who it is. Hey, what's up? How are you? Listen, I need your help. I'm trying to meet this goal. I'm in real estate. Please, if you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell, ask for referrals, guys. They don't know. Like they say, people don't know what you need if you don't ask. Hey, if you know anybody that's looking to buy, by the way, this is the best way to start your book of business right now while you're doing this, is to start calling everybody and making sure that you have their contact information at least and their email address and put a note of what you talked about. And I promise you, you do that for 90 days, you will see results in your finances, in your business. And if you stay consistent, you'll just continue to grow. Okay. Just a couple things that I added, some little marketing ideas and stuff. Wearing a name badge in public as often as possible, as Chris said, truth is, Evelyn, you're a witness. We wore our name badges and everywhere I went. I used to lose it everywhere. You remember when I bought the name badge that lit up?
Oh my God.
My kid was like, I know you're not wearing that. I was like, wow, I'm gonna wear that to an event. Literally, you plug it out. I still have it, no bullshit, right? You have to connect it to the computer and you can put what you want. And as I'm walking, it would say Eric Perez, real estate agent. And get ghetto. I mean, it was always not charged. It was always dead. No, yeah, that's that idea, realtor, right? But the truth is, the truth is that Alexis from the office used to always laugh at me. And like, yo, you really gonna wear that out? Yeah.
It attracts attention.
That attracts
People look at you.
A conversation starter, right? So my thing, really, I have it still. I don't know what the charger is, but it lit up and you can write whatever you want, right?
I think the point to that is that a lot of times, like, we allow like our pride or what other people think. We allow that to keep us away from so much business and some risk. If you think about it, like, that's the one thing that I absolutely know about this lady since the day that I met her. It's not that she doesn't care, but she's not gonna let what you think or rejection or like the way it may look. She's not gonna let it stop her from getting business. I even know it myself. There's things that I wouldn't do from fear of like, I think I'm corny. I'm on the phone, I sound funny, whatever that looks like. The minute that you get past those limiting beliefs, that's when you start to do bigger business. So I think that it's daring for you. Would I do it? No.
I'll share something that Erica might know, and I mean, because I'm in the dental field as well. We had one orthodontist, Dr. Clementine, that showed up at everybody's office with the goofiest outfits. I'm talking about St. Patty's, he was all green, brought you green bagels and everything. But he stood out and no one stood out.
Right.
Because he was original to who he was.
Right.
So that one thing that he did got him a lot of patience, got him a lot of doctor recognition. I mean, you could probably see somebody dressed in a funny costume and think that's him because that's all he did. So it's like, if you find your niche, that one thing that makes you stand out.
Oh, it didn't be that.
Right, because I was gonna say, what works for you may not work for someone else.
Yeah.
You gotta
I tell you,
be
my Instagram will be doing too. I'm like, they don't even care, right? But for her,
But TikTok works for you.
yeah. I don't even know how I'm TikTok famous. Which one stupid video. I did one bad video that I was cursing. I'm not gonna front. And people were like, wow, what a good mother. It wasn't even my voice. It wasn't even my voice. It was Roseanne. Remember that show? It was her. They thought it was me. Lady was like, oh, you're a good mom. But that got like, don't lie, like 100 and something thousand views. My TikTok got all these likes. I don't even know who they are. Right? I'm like, all right.
You know what, Erica, even in that show, $1 Million Listing, that agent, I forgot his name right now, he always wears a costume for his open houses. You know, he has no.
Ay, tampoco así. Mira, like,
He's a multi-millionaire.
yeah, whatever works for you. So, and so when you're forming handwriting notes is something that Chris told me about, but it was something that we used to do back in the I'm talking about 15 years ago. We would actually put sticky notes, right? Because obviously back then I liked working with I used to like playing with the boys, with the investors. So I would go driving around for houses and look beat up and put a note, please call me with my phone number and my ugly little happy face because my penmanship is terrible. But I would put notes and sometimes people would actually call me and I wouldn't put my business card because I didn't want them to know I was a realtor. Of course, I was an investor. I was an investor, but I wasn't an investor. But I would always say, oh, I'm an investor, you know, in faith, right? I was speaking in faith. But I would say I'm an investor, or I would put a note. So handwriting notes, even a happy anniversary note. Remember I said, call them. If you got the time or if you hire, invest in your business, guys. Like, can I be transparent here? Yeah. We become agents and we want everything handed down to us, right? And the best thing handed down to me is knowledge. But we want everything. Can you get me a name tag? Can you get me this? Can you pay for my this? No, pay for it yourself. Invest in your business. You will feel like a business owner. So you're going to wake up in the morning and know, this is my business and I got to invest in me. Meaning, get you a CRM, buy yourself 10 listing signs. Something that Nilsa said that I loved it. Erica, I need a listing sign right now because if I see it, I know I got to get it. Boom. Right? Invest in your business. I was a single mom, guys. I raised 3 kids by myself. Right? And real estate, thank God, changed my life with my children. Right? So when people say, I can't really afford it, I couldn't really afford it. So yeah, I'd be like, oh my God, office. I would come up with ideas to the office. We should get this because I needed it and I couldn't afford to get it. Truth be told, right? You've known me since I was 15 years old, right? Single mom, raised 3 kids. When I tell you alone, I still, you know what? I would go to the office and print the papers out, put my kids in the car, sit them there and be like, don't move, I'll buy you ice cream afterwards, and put sticky notes or whatever I could print. I didn't have the material, but I had the accessibility of the office. So if you can't afford it, find a way to make it work, right? You will be able to afford it if you're consistent. I promise you. Like when people say it's hard, I know I had 3 kids, and I had a regular job. So I worked 2 jobs, I raised 3 kids, and they were knuckleheads. I was my own knucklehead, and I figured it out. I would run into the office with my scrubs, change in the real estate office, and Evelyn's known me for years. Change in the real estate, put my work clothes, run to show the houses, leave the kids in the car, go back, put my scrubs on, come back to the dentist's office. Lucky for me, I had pool in the dentist's office, and he was able to work with me, right? He was like, all right, as long as the money's coming in and we're good. So invest in your business. Your business cards. Sometimes I don't have them on me. A lot of times I don't have them. Like, oh shit, I don't even have one in the cart. I'm like scrambling. All right, let's work on that. Me too. People throw them away, but it's a conversation starter. Here's my business card. Your phone. Digital. Right? The other thing is the business cards that we had made. People are on Instagram all the time. In the back, instead of having my contact information, I have my Instagram. Because once they accept me, I'm in their face. You don't want to give me your contact information? I don't care. Here, at least follow me. Boom, grab this. Now they're seeing Erica. So it's important to like, whatever it is that you use to connect, use it as a conversation piece. Leave a card everywhere you go. Like you can't leave it, your phone, right? But if you're eating at a restaurant and nobody's looking, I'll dump it on the counter. Somebody might pick it up, right? Throw your face everywhere. Your posts, guys, the posts that you're posting, be consistent. Whatever you're gonna do, whatever 3 things you pick, be consistent with it. Don't do it once and think that it's gonna work. You gotta hit a house 7 to 12 times before they even remember your face, right? So be consistent with it. Chris, this is another one that Chris gave me, which was good. For rent by owners, Evelyn kills the industry with renting apartments, but you know how many contacts of sellers my girl got on her database? Huh. Right, Evelyn? And guess what? Evelyn does if you don't mind, Evie, Evelyn's niche is not just selling real estate, but is renting apartments. And guess what? No matter what market we're in, she will continue to stay busy.
Right.
No matter what market we're in. My own son the other day threatened to leave. He said, matter of fact, give me Evelyn's number. I need an apartment. I swear to God. He did. And my daughter, Mom, I've been asking you forget it. I'm just gonna call Evelyn. Forget it. Forget it. You don't want the commission, I'll call Evelyn. I'm like, give it to Evelyn. That's what she's good at, right? So Evelyn's working for she's doing a lot of rentals. But guess what? All these renters are sellers. And that's what they own.
Buyers.
Not a 2-family home, honey. They own buildings. So guess what? If it's a building of 10 units and she gets 10 rentals a year, that's a couple of real estate transactions.
And then eventually they're gonna become all buyers.
So buyers.
And now she's got buyers because she knows their credit and their income. And guess what? To rent, you gotta have decent credit and income. So now Evelyn's database is growing with potential sellers and buyers, right? So tap in. And this last one is send just listed mailers. What we were saying. Remember we were talking about the just listed that you were asking. You could do just listed in your neighborhood mailers to another property. No, I'm a broker and I don't remember that being illegal. I'm not saying it's my listing. I'm just saying, hey, did you know that a house listed in your neighborhood?
Giving you information.
Yeah, you're giving value.
Right.
You're giving value.
Can I disclaimer on the mailer?
Right.
Yeah,
What they do is they put it.
you have to put the source of the.
100%.
But that's
Property,
Small in the back.
Yeah.
property listed by blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Yeah.
Let the
But
post office
listen.
print the bar on.
Get creative. Put a picture of yourself. Call me. I'm going to tell you about the house that's listed in your neighborhood, whatever. Right? It's called Every Door Direct Mail. That those reminds, instead of looking for all these different companies, they put the address, you get them, tell them where you want it, it's a little postcard. Okay, it's flimsy, pero lo van a notar anyway. You just want them to know who you are and maybe call you.
It's like
Okay.
the same thing you spoke about with business cards. Like I remember back being a lot younger and like promoting parties, and I used to get mad, like, you know, like you were walking the streets, you'd be passing out, you see people that were like, you know, throw it, right? And I used to get pissed off. I'm like, it's fine, you know, it's fly sauce. But it did its job. When I got older, I realized it did its job. It was just me. They know about it. Doesn't matter if they throw it or whatever. It's the same thing with your business card, right? They kind of like, okay, you got it. They saw it. Same thing with the mailer. They're gonna have it. Most times with the mailers, it's a little bit better. It came in the mail, they put it down, or they put it in the drawer, and they keep.
They put it in a drawer till they do their bills.
Keep getting it. That's right. So it's just about how many different ways can you get in front of it? It's a mail.
Branding.
I always like to think of our headshots be our logo, that's our logo. That's when you see me constantly all the time, that will be my logo.
Yeah.
That's
So
right,
like when you get the mailers, like I received them at my house, and there was an agent that I constantly got.
Get on my nerves, right?
And
Right,
I'm like,
now
you
you
know,
know, at some point, you kind of like, at that point, I was thinking about it.
my neighborhood, why they get.
I get mad. And if I know them, I'll come and be like, stop sending shit to my house.
It was like a logo that I saw every single time. To me, I related to a logo. Like I saw this girl all the time, her face.
And when you see her, you feel like you know her.
I know.
But doesn't that
I guess
sound
you better.
that you go home and then like the house down the block from your house is listed?
My whole neighborhood is listed with somebody else.
Why?
You know why?
is it somebody
Because
else?
we're not farming our neighborhood.
We're not farming your neighborhood. That's
Oh,
absolutely
no.
right.
All right, so these are, consistency is key. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I swear to you, if you could just get up every morning, like as a single mom, I still wake up at 6:30 in the morning with no alarm. Is that true? Because sometimes I could party till 1, now I party till 1, I'm exhausted for the week, but I'm like trying to sleep at 6:30 in the morning, but because I used to have to wake up with the kids, now that they're obviously doing their own thing, when I get up at 6:30 in the morning, I try to run downstairs and make a coffee and get it from the computer. By 9 o'clock, a big bulk of my business is done. And I get most of my stuff done when everybody's sleeping and there's no movement, except for the stupid dogs, right? Because they're like, they want to play. But by the time you get to the office, think about it. Guys, the office is a good place to be in the flow of energy, but it's also a big distraction. Because you're talking to this one, you're talking to that, you tell them about your stuff. So try to find what time works best, even to make your phone calls. For me, I always like calling from 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Because people are in a rush, they're like, can you just call me later? I'm like, yeah, you gave me the permission to call you back. Remember you told me I could call you back when you call them back. So 8 to 10 in the morning is something that I like to do. And realistically, sometimes it's hard to do 5 to 7 because you're showing houses or you're drained. I think most of the people here are high energy. I would like to say most of us here are high energy. I bet you if everybody had the opportunity to talk, we'd be like, oh, like a gallinero, right? So mornings when you wake up, I'm pretty sure that everyone here, as you wake up in the morning, you're pretty sure you're like, go, get up, go, right? Take that energy and throw it on the phone. Practice it. See what time works for you. But 8 to 10 people are in movement and getting to work. Forget about midday because they're working. So element keys to success is organization. If you're not organized, you're not running your business right. Why do business fail? Because of poor management. There's a lot of restaurants that I would love to go eat, but I won't go because it's just by the time everybody está perdido. They don't know where they're going. They're like, oh, where's this, where's that, where's this? And then they go to the back and they forgot this. Poor management is the reason why most businesses fail. So if you organize your business, you're good, right? Consistency. Consistency should be, I put seal like the air. Consistency got to be something like the air you breathe. You got to be consistent with it. You got the passion to sell real estate, then you know what? Organize yourself. Be consistent with your business. You know, you are worth it. So invest in you. It's not about what you're wearing, what you're driving. It's about the service you're providing, your organization skills, and your professionalism, period. Accountability. Accountability is own up to it. Like I said, I mastered one way of calling in all these years. And yeah, there's times that I'm scrambling the car like, oh shit, I don't have a business card. I'm accountable for the things that I do wrong. I lost a client and I was so upset with myself, right, Michael? All of a sudden, nobody could talk to me because I was working it off. I was so pissed, but I had to be accountable. You know why I lost a client? Because I wasn't responsive in a timely manner. Because I was busy doing everything else, building a pool in my yard, picking up the kids, talking to my friends in the office. 2-3 days are passing and there was no response because my mentality was, if I answer the text message, I'm gonna forget to call them back. Either which way, I lost the client because I was irresponsibly, I wasn't responding like I should have. Be accountable for your actions. Know what you do and where you're lacking and try to just fine tune that, right? CRM, I'm probably gonna say that so I turn purple. CRM, you need that. You have no business if you don't have a book of business that's organized. Perseverance. Thank God there's nothing out there. Perseverance. Just don't give up. You know, I'm the kind of person that people tell me I can't do something, I'm like, let me just show you real quick, I got this, right? When I started real estate, a very good dear family member of mine said, what do you want to do when you grow up? I said, I'm never going to grow up. Let's start with that. And number two, I'm going to keep changing my things and stepping up until I find somewhere that I want to be, right? And that's why I became a broker, because I get boring and I get bored and I want to learn new things. I do. I hated school growing up, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I went through a midlife and I wanted to learn everything. But be perseverance. Don't let what people say. Stop listening to the real estate news. The market's crashing. Hallelujah. Okay, then you know what? Step in. I stepped in when people were telling me, what are you doing, Erica? You're going to become a realtor during these times? Yeah. Because now I could really learn without the pressure of so many agents and so many sharks. So I'll learn in this market. And when it booms, I'll be ready for it. Right? And professionalism. Dress like a CEO. I'm going to use Evelyn as an example because Evelyn worked with me for years. I could walk in the office with Tim's, tights, a hoodie, and a hat, right? But I wasn't really meeting with clients. One day, a real client walked in and I had Tim's, tights, a hoodie, and a hat. I was like, right? I wasn't really dressed like a CEO that day, right? There's a time and a place for everything. Do I still do it? Michael will be like, yo, I feel like wearing my sneakers today. I'm like, yo, me too. Coming here with tights, my hair in the morning. You're like, that's fine. But when you're out there and you're shaking hands with people, know your crowd and know what you're wearing, right? Show that you're a professional. Dress proper, right? And I'm not trying to shoot anybody down, guys. But one thing that burns me up is to see this industry has changed so much. What happened to our women that stand up to and protect your body and dress properly, right? Why are we looking like we're selling something else when what we're selling is real estate, an investment, a home, to a family, to a husband and a wife, or a single mom or a single dad? Let's be more professional about how we show up to these events, right? You don't want to be known as, look at how she's dressing. Oh my God, no. You walk in and be like, damn, that's a powerhouse. She's coming in correct, right? So back to basics, as we discussed, something that we were taught 17 years ago was dress for the job. Dress for the job. If I'm selling a house to my friends, right? Hasta en chancleta, right? I can do that. But you never know who you're gonna meet and what they're gonna say about you. Reputation is everything. Time changes, faces change, and your reputation doesn't. So let's be professional. Let's stand up for women and be respectful women and dress properly, and men, and dress like a CEO. Show up for the position.
This ties back to what we're talking about being on TikTok and social media and just being moño, like te ven allá afuera. Right. But like there's a time and a place for things too, right? Because there you kind of more relatable to people, but when you're gonna show up to like show a home,
Events and professional,
that
right?
doesn't apply to that. You're supposed to look professional.
Dress like a CEO of your business. I gotta keep my hand away. I'm clumsy, by the way. You know, and I'm telling you guys, like, you never know who you're gonna meet, and never disregard a client because you never know who they're gonna refer to you.
Well, people like to see a little bit of both, right? Because sometimes, I had someone who I know for years who say, every time I look on your Instagram, it's all about business. Like, are you still Joyce? I'm like, I'm still Joyce, you know?
You should have said, what is Joyce to you?
I'm still, but what I'm saying is that people like to know that you're still relatable.
Human.
You know what I mean? That you're still
Stories,
human.
social media are for
Right.
stories in social media, your page should look good,
Yeah.
presentable, right?
Right.
What is that feel?
Right,
But I think your stories are more to relate with people.
right.
100%. I did a quick little 4-second video and I'm jumping on his back, and the girl that Bree was recording us, because that's what we do. We play around. But what I mean by that is like, just be professional because you never know who you're gonna meet, right? And let's go back to basics and be that. Be a profession.
You never know when your next client is gonna come.
No. So that was it. Our goal, guys, is changing lives one key at a time. Every closing is individual, so you're working with that client, and that's the model that the Perez group, we go by, is changing lives one key at a time, because the truth is, you're really changing someone's life, whether it's an investor, builder, developer, buyer, seller, someone that's losing their home, someone that lost a family member. We're changing their lives because it's an experience that they're gonna have with us. What experience are we giving them? Is it good or bad? Is it transactional or relational? Are we showing them that we're just trying to make money, or we're showing them that we get paid for doing a good service for them? So that's our duty, is to service our clients and do the right thing for them, right? So I really want everybody, I would love for everybody to try working together. Maybe we can even make a group chat of everybody that's here now, whoever wants to be on it. Michael, please, what's that? Where we can put it together, if in case anybody says, you're gonna have a good day and you're gonna have a bad day, right? But what makes the difference is your mindset. As long as you give the best you have, some days you make more calls than the other, doesn't matter. That is your best day. That's the best you had to give. I try to be soft with myself and try not to beat myself up. I come in days that I take a 3-hour lunch break and then I go home and my day's done. And I try to be gentle with myself, because that means that day I didn't have what it takes to really give it my 100. But that was my 100. So be gentle with yourself, be consistent. And just because you had 2-3 days that you didn't do what you were supposed to, keep going. Don't start over, just keep going. And I think honestly, guys, like, it doesn't matter what the news is saying about the market. I think you'll see a difference in your pipeline, your book of business. Your pipeline is what you guys all know, that a pipeline is what you have under contract, listed, and things like that, numbers. So that, that kind of like wraps up organic leads in a nutshell. Work on that. Master 3. Right? Start with 1 and just play with all of them and say, this is what I want to try. This is what I want to do. Just be consistent, and we'll circulate back in 90 days. Does anybody have any questions about any of? And I'm going to email all this to everybody just so you can kind of have like a layout to remember. So, because at first I was going to print it, but of course, if I have paper, I'll throw it out. I throw everything out and I lose it anyway. But if it's in my email, it's a less chance that I'll lose it. It's a less chance that I'll lose it. All right. And Chris is here. You guys all know who Chris is. Mo, thank you for coming through and showing support. Right. Mo's going to be with us in Broadway, and George. And then I want to introduce to you guys Juanita, and I want to give a round of applause. She had let me use this place, and I was like, well, we don't